What's up, everybody? What's up, goats? To all those that are tuning in after the Chicago Bears, uh, almost thriller of a finish. Nevertheless, Your Shepard here, your boy JC. The SoCal Wolf will be joining us for the Week 8 fantasy recap. I hope everyone had a wonderful Sunday. It's always a fabulous Sunday in the fall to early winter time because we have this wonderful game of football. Plus, it's wonderful holidays as well. We have Halloween coming up this week. We've got Thanksgiving. That's actually my second favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. And obviously from there is Christmas or however your religion celebrates the holidays. But today was also a holiday. Unbeknownst to myself or anybody else previously this entire week when we're making all these lineup decisions and start sit calls, nobody told me that it was National Tight Ends Day. It's bittersweet, and I'm gonna share with you why it's bittersweet. Because while we're celebrating the tight end position, while we've been reeling in the tight end position all season, or at least for 7 weeks leading up to today, why does it take a holiday or a pronounced quote unquote celebrated day for the tight end position for them to garner attention? Why is it that all of a sudden now all the tight ends decided to have great games, or their offensive coordinators, their head coaches decided to get them the ball? It's extremely odd. It's like it was intentional. It's intentional. Nevertheless, a lot. I haven't tallied it up yet, but throughout the entire day, it was one after the other, after another. Holy smokes. Kate Otten. How about that? We could just start right there. Kate Otten had himself a great game. This was of no surprise to us. It didn't need to be a holiday for that to happen. That was going to happen based on the injuries that this team has sustained to their two main other pass catchers. Yeah. So, Kate Otten had a great game. Trey McBride had a great game. He didn't score, but he definitely had a great game. I believe he's second leading in receiving yards. But he did not score. Dalton Kincaid found the end zone today. Imagine that. National Tight Ends Day. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is another one. National Tight Ends Day. So here's why it's bittersweet. Like I said, they just started slow. No. I'm not sure. I'm not necessarily buying into that. I don't know if I'm fully buying into that. Because it seemed like they all okay, so here's why it's bittersweet. So now that it's National Tight Ends Day and multiple tight ends came out and just shined today, this is this is now what's the word I'm looking for? It's more like this is now suppressed maybe some of the other performers, some of the other players in the league that we would want to have more consistent smash games. And that's not to say that a bunch of them didn't. Yeah. Kittles is going to shine too. I'm sure he is. I have no doubt. Once we saw Kyle Pitts going and who else? Well, Trey McBride was early. Evan Ingram had a good game. How did Kraft do? They took a craft out of the game. They all seem to have had a really good game. Most of them scoring on National Tight Ends Day. Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews scored. Yeah, Kittles is going to shine. I know he is, Sniper, because he's on your team. What's up, Goat Connor? You're down by 5 with Debo. Against Debo. My apologies. Ricky, Jake Ferguson, or Jalen Tolbert? Well, why don't we just go with Jake Ferguson? It's National Tight Ends Day. Exactly what I'm saying. That's the soliloquy of the evening. Based again, I didn't know it was National Tight Ends Day. I think we may have looked at this week and these other dudes in a different fashion. But in all seriousness, kind of Goat. Let me answer this before I bring in the SoCal Wolf. I wasn't high on Ricky this week. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with Ricky and sit him. You're down by 5. You could probably get 5 from Jake Ferguson, but you're going against Debo. It's going to be a tall order. It's going to be a tall order, my friend. Regardless, I mean, like, you're going to need Debo not to have a good game. You're going to need that to happen. And then on the flip side, on your own team, handling your own business, you're going to need Jake Ferguson or Jalen Tolbert to have a good game. But again, going against Debo, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Let's welcome in the SoCal Wolf to the Week 8 start sit to the Week 8 recap show. Welcome in, SoCal.
What is going on, man?
Not much. I was just going on a little rant, and no one gave me the memo that it was National Tight Ends Day, but that's okay. That's okay. We still got performances. We still got pretty solid performances from many others across the league, but up out of the depths of despair of fantasy, in came the tight ends, and it was like, it made me think, like, why does it take one day, a pronounced holiday, for them to all of a sudden find the end zone? It's odd. It is. It's odd to me.
I do recall, I think the last couple of years, though, tight ends, I don't know what the numbers are. I'd be interested to know, like, how many touchdowns are scored by tight ends on tight end day. But when I first heard it today, I was like, I remember last year them talking about that and multiple tight ends finding the end zone. Probably not quite like today, but who knows?
Definitely.
But, hey, more reason to probably play that question for Connor, more reason to probably play Ferguson tonight.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's like he gets the targets anyway. Like, you got to kind of wash your hands with the Detroit game. But before that, he had, 7, 10, 11. I mean, he's involved in the offense. They don't have a true number 2. Now Dowdle's out. I don't know. I'm going Ferguson there,
Because I said to Connor, who's, he's losing in a close one, but he's going against Debo, who we believe is going to get most of the work tonight. I mean, most of it. If not, he'll get the majority of the target share along with Skittles. And, of course, we're expecting a big performance from Mason as well. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough order. You might as well, go with the Cowboys is, the default wide receiver 2 on the team, or the default second option on the team. It's not out of the question, though. It's not. It's not out of the question that he pulls it off. He also have Mason in the flex.
Well, that's good. I mean, it should be a big Jordan Mason night. I mean, you got to think, too, Debo was in the hospital. I know he's cleared to play, but you got to wonder if they're going to just run him into the ground, 6 days later. I mean, I'm not saying he'll be limited, but
no, I don't think
one way or another, like, not wishing an injury upon Debo, but like, we've seen him lead games when he's come back in. There's the issue. Who knows? Maybe he plays and something flares up. And hopefully it's nothing that would be like serious, but one way or another, whether he's limited or on the field, like you do need him to, not have a massive game. I mean, that's just, but Jordan Mason helps go against that because if I'm the Niners, like we talked about this last night, like I'm running the football 25 times, dude, unless I'm, we're losing. I'm fine with uglying that game up. I'm fine with having long, slow drives.
Here's the other thing that we should point out too, which could work very well in Connor's favor. Not just Debo coming off of like a non-football injury. They're also going into the bye. Like, who's to say that they like overwork this man just to take it half easy, right? Or let's give you half a day's work, and we'll try to limit your snaps. So that could very well work out in his favor. And again, I'm trying to be positive for you. Trying to be positive. Yeah, Jordan Mason, though, again, much to that same type of train of thought. Going into the bye, this might be Mason's swan song with CMC coming back. Maybe. Again, we're kind of playing all the angles here. Connor, nevertheless, though, Jordan Mason is in the flex. You're going against Debo. You're putting in Ferguson. I like the odds, man. I like the odds. What do you think, Sniper? Do you like the odds? This is another tough one right here. Now that Rico Dowdle, so how about this, right? All of a sudden, Rico Dowdle gets to the stadiums not feeling well. Dalvin Cook was activated 12 hours earlier. Coincidence?
Yeah. Obviously, they had an inkling that he might not play. I don't know,
man. I guess.
I mean, now it makes sense, right? I didn't even really think anything of it. I thought maybe it was just after the bye. Maybe they're like, you know what, we're moving a little more on from Zeke, but it's hard to know how much they're going to use Dalvin Cook. Like, Dowdle's not playing. You need another running back on the depth chart. So, I mean, does this mean that Cook's going to play, or does it mean he's just there and this is a Zeke game, at least usage-wise? I'm not saying production-wise, but at least usage-wise. Like, I don't know how much Cook's going to be on the field. There's no way to tell. We know Ricky Pearsall should be on the field. We talked about this last night. How much will he get targeted? But just because Cook's active, man, doesn't mean he even touches the football, right? I mean,
he hasn't had a good football game since 2022.
Like, I want to say he's a running back. He gets a chance maybe at the end zone, but like, will he even be in the game to do that? Like, I think I have to play Pearsall here. I don't. If Cook plays more than we think and gets some goal line touches, I'll be really surprised. But Pearsall looks like he's going to be on the field, right? Like, it's Devo, Kittle, Pearsall. Like, he's going to see an 80-plus snap share. So, like,
I think the plan was always to get this dude onto the field. I don't think that they expected it to take season-ending injury to Brandon Ayuk, and then having Juwan Jennings now also be out for at least this week to just like expedite that process. Of course, they want to get their first-round draft pick. They spent the capital to acquire him. The plan is to get him work. It's just a matter of he didn't. He started the season a little late, and now he's getting thrust into the lineup. So again, we don't know how ready he is.
They did have a full week of practice, right? Like the thrust into a bigger role was mid-game, which it's not that he doesn't know necessarily what to do, but like he wasn't talked about as really much the game plan pre-injury, right? Now,
right.
Injuries aside, he's been in the game plan all week long. It's a big difference when you have a full week of practice as opposed to being inserted mid-game. So, I mean, give me the guy that's on the field.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you for the most part. It's just, what he what they practice isn't necessarily your 100% what he will see. That's all. So if he's
No,
kind of
but he's
making,
just
you know what I
involved.
mean?
He's involved more. He's involved though in the game plan this week as a starting wide receiver, where last week he was not.
Yeah,
And the bottom line, I mean, are you playing Pearsall or Cook? Like, I don't see how I can play Dalvin Cook just off being activated.
Right? I'm with you. I'm with you again for the most part. Probably, I'm seeing that about 90% of the way. There's the 10% of me that's saying, he's still a young rookie. If Dallas, again, not the best defense at all, but if Dallas, if they're showing a look, they're defending him in a certain manner, or it's the coverage as a whole, and he's not running the right route, and they're guarding him, so on and so forth, then it's gonna, it may be a long day, or it may not be a day period. He may be on the sideline. But yes, I get it, and I'm with you. In fact, he's most likely in their plans. Dalvin Cook.
I mean, last night I don't think there was really a single answer where we said Pearsall, because the other player, it made more sense. This is one of the instances that he makes sense. I mean, I just don't know how I could talk myself into playing Cook being activated with what I can't do it.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I definitely don't blame you. How come D-Hop didn't have more plays? Because it's a 31, 32-year-old wide receiver that just got there. I'm sure that he is brought up to speed, or because he's this experienced, because he's a veteran, because was or still is an excellent player in the league, and I'm sure that he pretty much has a handle on the assignments that he needed to do. But on the other hand, there's a lot of stuff that the Chiefs do that he may not have a handle on. That, I mean, what else? They need to now build him up into a more prominent role. That's the only. I mean, that's why. Would you agree with that, Wolf? I mean, why didn't Diop have more plays?
It was always going to be a couple weeks. I mean, before we see, him really, this move be of significance. But I mean, at the end of the day, this team likes to run the football. Kareem Hunt had 21 carries. Travis Kelce had 12 targets. I mean, there wasn't much more to go around outside of that. Xavier Worthy had 8 targets, which is nice to see them try to, involve him a little more. That's probably a good sign for the rookie. But that
was great. Came in late, but that was great.
Yeah, but when he got the touchdown, I think just for rest of season, it was nice to see 8 targets for Xavier Worthy, because even Rashee Rice last year, it took a few weeks for Andy Reid to get involved. So just to see Worthy get 8 targets, you gotta like that from a sense of his playing time. And so we'll see. Is D-Hop just going to be a fill-in guy? The return on D-Hop was always going to be a couple weeks probably anyway. Getting acclimated, seeing how much he really had left in the tank. We don't know. He leaves Tennessee and Ridley goes crazy. D-Hop did nothing in Tennessee, right? I mean, he had 15 catches through 7 weeks of football, I believe, right? He just wasn't being used. So who knows? We see the name and we're like, cool, D-Hop with Patrick Mahomes. I don't know, though.
D-Hop.
Is it really that exciting? Now, don't get me wrong. In a week or two, maybe it is acclimation and his juice left, and all of a sudden he turns into, the Juju guy that, had the great year with Patrick Mahomes. But this offense is different. This team is different. D-Hop is different. It was always going to be a few weeks. He just got here.
This team is built on strong ground attack. It's still built, as we saw today on National Tight Ends Day. It's still built around that man, Travis. Or at least, if he's on the field, you have to see what he's doing. And then, you're going to have an underneath crosser slash, intermediate receiver, and then you're going to have a burner and maybe another burner, depending on how they present themselves. And Diop, look, why didn't he have more plays? I'm surprised he had this many plays. But nevertheless,
I mean,
nevertheless,
let's see 3 weeks. Let's see 3 weeks of football. Does the snap share increase? Does he get involved? Like, it's just we didn't expect much. The only reason we wouldn't have been surprised that he had 4 or 5 catches and a touchdown is because of the resume. That wasn't the expectation by any means, right?
Not for me. No, not for most of us.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Quincy Goat. Good evening, Quincy Goat. Dropping Ridley for Jawan Jennings. Would you drop Tyler Algier for Rico? Well, I mean, if the Jones Goat was here, he would tell you not to drop Tyler Algier. However, dropping Calvin Ridley is bad as the Titans are, again, as bad as this team is. Calvin Ridley happened to have had a pretty solid game today. He had a great game, as a matter of fact. Yeah. He went well over 100 yards. He didn't score. That went to Westbrook Akine, who helps nobody.
Third touchdown on the season for that guy. I mean,
that's a joke. To me, this team, I can't believe that this team is ranked as well as they are on defense. It's fraudulent. It really is fraudulent. I cannot believe what the Lions did to them.
Yeah, but it wasn't offensively. They the Lions had 133 yards of offense and 35 points on the scoreboard. It was interceptions and punt returns and kick returns.
All right. So take the special teams and one.
They did ugly the game up. They did ugly the game up outside of that one Jahmyr Gibbs run for the first 3 quarters. Like, they did play pretty good defense. They just did nothing else well, in the special teams and the interception game. They turned the ball over. I mean, Rudolph threw the one right to the guy for the pick 6. They had the touchdown return. They had the long return into their territory, into Titans territory. They just capitalized on that. So I definitely don't think this 50-point barrage is a reflection of Tennessee's defense. It's just a reflection of how bad their entire team is. But back to the question,
let's answer the Quincy Goat, because
Ridley was
this
brought in. I can't drop Ridley now when Brian Callahan said, I want to use Calvin Ridley like Jamar Chase. That was what he said headed into the season. And we finally got to at least see that for a week. I'm definitely not doing it right now. He's the only guy they got, and at least Rudolph showed today that he can get him the ball.
Yeah.
So I can't do that right now. You know what I mean? And the other one, I don't know what your running back situation is. Rico is the starter as opposed to Algier, but Algier still gets Dowdle type work even as the backup almost. He touches the ball a lot.
Well, I bet you this is kind of like a 2-parter for Quincy Goat. Yes, Tyler Algier is kind of like that borderline. Maybe we could flex him. Maybe we need to sit him. Maybe we need to cut him. But he also might be asking about this because now Rico is out for this game, and perhaps just what if Dalvin happens to have a vintage Dalvin? I don't think I would be. Would you drop Algier for Rico? No, I don't think I would. I don't think I would drop Tyler Algier for Rico, but I certainly would not drop Ridley now for Jennings. Are we on board with that or no? Wolf?
Yeah, I'm not dropping Ridley right now. I'm not dropping Calvin Ridley. He's the only guy they got over there. And as much as I, think Jennings can be involved, he still has to come back from his injury. You still have Debo, you still have Kittle, you still have the run game. You got CMC coming back. I don't see the value over Calvin Ridley at this point.
Now that the aforementioned DeAndre Hopkins is not in the fold. You can't expect Westbrook Akine to just be vulturing touchdowns. And Calvin Ridley, look at the game that this man had. So
There's
yeah,
zero reason. There's zero reason. And listen,
you
he's
just
not going to put these numbers up every week because Mason Rudolph is like not a very prolific passer. Will Levis, we've seen how bad his targets can be. But at the end of the day, there's no reason that Calvin Ridley's not seeing 8+ targets every single game. Like, there's just not, unless he's hurt. And I'm going to take my chances. If I got to play one of those two guys, like, I'm going to take the guy who's getting the targets. And Jawan Jennings isn't even healthy right now. So, a healthy Ridley, no other players, the volume.
I'm with you. Yeah. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And again, let me just add in or sprinkle in the fact that, hey, man, I know we didn't see much, if any, of it for the first 7 weeks, including a bye. I believe they had their bye, so 6 weeks plus today, 7. We got a lot of football left for Calvin Ridley.
Depending on the receivers you got a Calvin Ridley lover in your league. I mean, try to trade Calvin Ridley. Somebody might bite on that, right? Or maybe they need a backup running back. Trade Ridley and Algier for a better wide receiver. I mean, knock on the door of those kind of deals and see what you can do. Depending on the rest of your roster, right? But Rico probably hasn't shown enough to be picked. I mean, Algier had 12 carries again today. It was only 33 yards, but he's involved in that offense. He gets work even near the end zone.
All right, so wait a minute. We may have to change up the entire analysis. The Quincy Goat wants to now pick up Ridley. So let's just pretend as if you've had him. Can you pick? Should he go get Calvin Ridley for Jawan Jennings? Jawan Jennings has been a back and forth waiver add, waiver subtract, drop, waiver add again. Now he didn't play again this week. He's been back and forth, flip-flopping back and forth. Calvin Ridley, is their wide receiver one. Granted, we're talking about apples and oranges of offenses. That's the only thing. However, you want to Calvin Ridley's available? I would go get Calvin Ridley. Yeah, let's pretend he was on your team, Quincy. Yes, for sure. That's what I'm going to do. So, Wolf, did you want to share with us, the wonderful audience of goats and one sniper, your thoughts on where a lot of eyeballs were on? A lot of eyeballs were in Texas. No, we're not talking about the Cowboys, who are not in Texas, but we are talking about the Texans in Houston, hosted the Colts. The Colts almost got away with this one.
Sure, they did.
They almost pulled off this win. As a matter of fact, and I believe, and you could confirm this better than I can, that they covered this game. I believe, but the Texans did win 23-20. It wasn't the game that we were expecting, though. It really was not. And a couple of flags that we went to plant this week. One being CJ, the other being Tank. Tank got it done with the touchdown, but it was very underwhelming. If Tank does not score this touchdown, I think he's at around 6.5, 7 PPR points, and that's
wasn't even involved in the game before that. Got it off the turnover, which, I mean, if you played Dell, like, I don't care how you get it, like, I'll take the points, but looking into context, he wasn't involved in the game much. They got a turnover, and then he caught the touchdown. It was like the luck you love to see when you have a player like that, because touchdowns make all the difference. Yeah, I mean, they couldn't, Stroud threw for 285, so it wasn't terrible, but against this Colts defense, shredded, and he couldn't get the ball really in the end zone. I don't know why Dell wasn't more targeted. 25 carries from Mixon. We talked about that last night. Mixon is a freaking beast, and the Colts can't stop the run either, so I'm not surprised by that. But I'm a little surprised that the Texans offense couldn't capitalize and score more points and Stroud have, 2 or 3 passing touchdowns. And why was Tank Dell not more involved? It's a little head scratching to me.
Head scratching.
This was the matchup. And
this was the matchup.
This was a 3-touchdown game. This was a double-digit target game for Tank Dell. Like, we didn't see those things from this offense against a phenomenal, matchup. So
Stephon Diggs went down in this game, non-football, non-contact injury. That's usually a bad sign. Yeah, that's usually not good. Yeah, and Tank Dell is obviously not himself, or CJ Stroud's not himself, and it's a combination of both. And this team is just scraping to get by at this point. The Colts. Now, Anthony Richardson played a little bit better. A little bit. Josh Downs, by the way. Josh Downs is fantastic. Or like if the two of them get going, Josh Downs is a bona fide wide receiver 1. The issue here is been the quarterback play. It's frustrating because we were very high on Anthony Richardson, and we may have been very high on Anthony Richardson for the wrong reasons without enough data. And I'll never fault my guy for being all in on him. But again, so like those advanced metrics with a very limited sample size, both in last season professionally and in college, and it's not shaking out right now. He looked better, but he still looks off. Robert Goat, how are you? Hope the majority of your week 8 is gone fantastic. If you're new to the show, please give us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate that. Which side would you rather have rest of season in PPR redrafts? Garrett Wilson, Monty, Justin Jefferson. Which side would you rather have rest of season in PPR redraft? Oh, okay. My bad. Garrett and Monty or Justin Jefferson. I'm going to go with the 2-for-1 there. As freaking good as Justin Jefferson is, almost accounting for 2. David Montgomery's doing really well for this team. You see how they're using both running backs. So it's not like Jameer's like eating into Montgomery's usage. And Garrett Wilson still look. This team is so bad, the Jets, that they're typically in passing situations. This could be a whole other show within a show, Robert. For rest of the season, though, in this combination, I would hold on to Garrett, and I would want Monty, as opposed to just the Justin Jefferson side. It's close. So Justin Jefferson's, let's say a couple of points, handful of points better than GW. But then Monty makes up for it, right? You'd want the 2-for-1 here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you're still seeing Garrett Wilson is
he's still
going to be used in the
he's still being used.
Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in football. I don't think you can argue that right now. Doesn't matter who they play. I mean, he just finds a way to dominate. But, I mean, who's Montgomery playing for that you have in there now? What's the increase? Because you are decreasing from Jefferson to Wilson. Like, you're decreasing. I don't care. Like, yeah, Wilson might have a game or two where he scores more. Where's Montgomery playing? That's why your entire team matters, right? Like, who's in that spot right now?
Yeah, you're tearing down at wide receiver, and then okay, but now you're making it back up with Monty.
But how much though? Who are you playing?
No, that's the question. That's the $1 million. That's the question. Are you
playing Tony Pollard? Like, there's no reason to do that. Are you playing Zach Moss? Okay. Are you playing Rico Dowdle?
Zach Moss. Zach Moss.
My boy, Moss is the man.
Zach Moss or Randy Moss?
Zach Moss, baby. It's not like Chase Brown's doing anything special. He's got a lucky touchdown.
That's not lucky. That
less
wasn't
than
lucky.
3 yards. Less than 3 yards a carry.
No, that's been the story. It's been like that all season. But
neither one of them is doing anything special. But again, but that's my thing. Is it, or even is it Chase Brown? Like, if you're going from Chase Brown to David Montgomery or Rico Dowdle to David Montgomery, like, okay, then I'm more apt to do that. But if I'm playing, Tony Pollard might be a little too high. I'm trying to think somebody in between that level. J.K. Dobbins. How much every week, depending on that spot. So, but yeah, who's the other running back that you're playing Montgomery over is key for me. CMC is supposed to be back after the bye week, I believe. That's the target date, assuming all things go well.
Everybody holding their collective breaths. I mean, again, I'm gonna continue to go on the creed, CREDE, creed, that I believe that these dudes, for the most part, believe and feel healthy. They feel healthy. They go out there. They give it 100%, most of them, and then it just the actual anatomy fails you. Your body, the body fails you. It's not, I don't believe that they're going out there. I don't think CMC is going out there if he's got a little bit of an ache down at his heel. There's no way in hell. So yeah, we're holding our breaths. We're crossing our fingers. Fantasy is better with CMC playing. The NFL is better with CMC playing. We want CMC playing. Yeah, it's supposed to be week 10. What did he go to Germany for? Some sort of advanced therapy. What are we gonna put it into this Ray McLeod business? Ray McLeod. I'd love to. Ray McLeod. Well, we won't hear the end of it. That we told a certain somebody to sit Ray McLeod. Anyway, let's move on. How about this one? Holy smokes! How about the return of Jameis? How about the fact that one of these heavy waiver additions this week? No, I'm not talking about Jalen McMillan. No, I'm not talking about Jawan Jennings, who is included in that. But I am talking about Mr. What's his name? Is it Cedric?
Cedric Tillman, baby.
Is it Cedric the Entertainer? Because he entertained us today. He entertained us for sure. What a game. Jameis Winston too. And look, I know this Ravens team could score at clips. They've got the number one rusher. They've got the number one passer. They've got the number one defense against the rush, as in the opposing rush. Running back, quarterback running, so on and so forth. This team can't stop a nosebleed. No, so I don't want to, again, I want to give the flowers to Jameis and Tillman, David Njoku, right? National Tight Ends Day. David Njoku.
Hey, this was a Jameis game, a Jameis matchup, and they delivered. They delivered. We expected
perfect matchup. Perfect.
And they delivered. It doesn't, right? Like, so Javonte Williams was a perfect matchup. Under-delivered. It doesn't always work out that way, but it did work out this way. This was always the case this week, that the Browns collectively as a unit, Winston's arm could support that. The Ravens' lack of pass defense and points they give up to the wide receiver position would allow for that. And it worked out that way, which is why we said last night, like, play Winston, don't make that trade and sit Mahomes. Like, it was a no-brainer, and it worked out. Because it doesn't always work out, Siegs, we know that. But it did work out this way. And all the flowers to both of them. But, yeah, don't get used to it. I mean, Chargers, Saints might be okay.
Don't get used to it.
It's Chargers, Saints, Steelers, Broncos, Steelers again, Chiefs. Those are the next 6 games for Jameis Winston.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I don't think anybody in their right mind started Jameis in a 1 QB league.
No. Well, I don't know.
Really?
This week would have been the 1 week to do it.
I mean,
it would have taken some extra cojones there, but I don't know. Somehow you had Jaden Daniels, didn't know if he was going to play. You weren't trusting. There aren't many guys. You're right. I mean, I agree, but
good point. Excellent point. As a matter of fact, I wish.
I don't know how different. I mean, I agree that that's bad offense to not give him the ball, but it doesn't change that the Ravens defense, other than maybe you control the time of possession a little bit, but defense also getting a lot healthier than they were. I'm not saying the Browns are a rejuvenated team that should be worried about necessarily, right? Their season's kind of just been ruined from the get-go, but they were very banged up and they are getting healthy. And this was a division game on the road. I mean, but yes, Derrick Henry should not have 11 carries in any football game. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. Zay Flowers played in this game. Rashad Bateman played in this game. Rashad Bateman did not have the game that he had last game.
He got hit in the face with a long pass. So
he got hit in the face.
You couldn't see in the sun. I mean, the shadows. Chalk it up to the shadows in the sun. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, more will be revealed with the Browns. Still a nice pulled out win. How about this one? Talk about pulling out a win when it looked like it was gonna go the other way. Get away from them. How about the Green Bay Packers? Green Bay Packers, they won by 3 points. Jordan Love got injured in the process. I don't think it's that serious, though. I mean, he at the end of the game, it's a groin injury. He looked okay, but they'll need further tests. How about Josh Jacobs? Great game. Here's one of those.
Josh Jacobs is he looks good all the time. They don't always get, it doesn't always produce, but that guy, man, he is shifty, he is fast, he is physical. He passes the eye test, that's for sure. And today he passed the stat test as well. So
yeah, and Malik looked good against the Jaguars. He looked good. I don't think that Jordan Love will miss time, but if he does, Malik Willis has himself he has a handle on this offense. He's demonstrated that weeks 2 and 3, but let's not forget that's also weeks 2 and 3. That's not the same as weeks weeks 9 and week 10 if Love were to miss any time. I don't think that's the case. The Snipers Romeo had another good game. After that, there wasn't much to write home about.
Tucker Kraft, tight end.
And well, of course. Brian Thomas Jr. scored again. Very nice. Wasn't a good game for Tank, the other Tank.
He got a little more volume than we thought because the game was a little closer. Green Bay didn't really play well offensively in the first half, which allowed Bigsby to get, 18 carries. Did have 3 targets, which is nice. He only had 1 target going into this game. I think expected a little bit more of a butt whooping, yeah, I mean,
no kidding.
What's crazy is he wasn't even there during the offseason or anything. I mean, he only came in like 2 weeks before Love's injury happened, and he looks like he's got, he's comfortable doing what they do there for whatever reason.
Not back.
But, he definitely can fill in. But, yeah, they're a different team. But Love, I mean, he had the interception in the red zone when they marched down the first time. He was throwing the ball effectively, but they weren't putting up points, which you expected a little more of that in this matchup, But on the road, hot, muggy, I don't know. But they found a way to pull it out. Are you muted, Wolfie?
Probably. I'm probably muted.
Brian Thomas, the matchup wasn't great, but again, they found a way to get him the ball, found a way to get him in the red zone. It did what you want to see from that guy.
Evan Ingram,
a beautiful, that catch, man, was amazing. 3 Packers. I mean, that was a great catch. I mean, that's Evan Ingram.
Still getting it done. Yeah, still getting it done. If he's healthy. What about Christian Kirk? What would you do with him now? This has been a couple, if not a few weeks now. Or how about this? Let's take the entire body of work for Christian Kirk. It's not been good. It's not. No, Trevor Lawrence hasn't been good, but with the emergence of Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk is like, it seems like an odd man out. What are we doing with him now? We're going to get a bunch of questions regarding Christian Kirk now that I'm thinking about it.
I think a lot of people have already moved on from him, especially like playing him at least. And now you might see him, being dropped if he wasn't already. But I think that was kind of already the case with his lack of involvement, man. I mean, he's just not getting the targets, and this offense overall is not great,
Ridley was garbage and did well today. Now what going forward? Yeah, we were just talking about that, Brian.
Yeah, he's just a wait and he's a hold and wait and see now. See if they can get him enough quality targets. He's gonna get thrown the ball. Are they gonna be targets that he can capitalize on? Who knows?
Yeah.
Somebody likes Ridley. We talked about, knock on the door of some people that maybe want to trade. I mean,
Ezekiel Elliott's getting the start, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that.
There's always a few people that may bite off a hot performance, especially if they were Ridley truthers, depending on.
I had Ridley drafted in a league. I'm almost certain of it.
I took Ridley in a lot of places, and I was forced to play him today with Metcalf, with Higgins, with Ayuk. So was I happy about it? Certainly not, especially in the matchup. It's all luck in the world that it worked out,
And again, let's leave the light on for the simple fact that we're just about concluding 8 weeks. 9, 10, 11. We've got several weeks to go where if he strings together a handful of solid games like we just saw today, 140 something yards, it'll be a different narrative.
It'll just be tough because, how often will they get in the end zone? Can he get any touchdowns? So can he just be flex worthy? Can he get 6 for 60, 6 for 70? If they find a way to get him the ball, like he should be able to, but we're not trusting in that because of today. We're just trusting that they have no other options. He's still really good, and they should find a way to use him offensively. Yet they weren't really doing that for 7 weeks, so it's like I'm not convinced, but I'm hopeful.
Me too. Sniper. There you are, right there. Why don't we get to one or two more games before we take off and enjoy Sunday night football? Dun, 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 dun. How about them Dolphins with Tua's return? The Cardinals. How about the Cardinals? I think we should give the Cardinals their credit. We talked about the Cardinals, how this was going to be a tough spot. We also talked about how the Dolphins defense, again, highly ranked. The Cardinals, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., they took it to them.
Yeah, Miami's defense, I don't think it's that good. And we saw that today. And offensively,
again, fraudulent.
6 yards of completion, Tua. First game back, so I guess we can chalk it up to that a little bit. But I'm interested to see, it wasn't that exciting, and they lost the football game, so that's not good. But Tyreek, obviously much more involved. A-Chain looked great.
Looked fantastic.
Waddle was ho-hum. Obviously this team is a much better offense with Tua. You got to think they'll air it out a little more, but a little surprised at 6 yards of completion against this Arizona team. But if Miami's defense is bad, that's better news for every Dolphin fantasy player. So,
yeah, I'm a little disappointed with Waddle, but yeah. I'm gonna side with the fact that this team looks. Oh my God! Just the raw numbers of it says it. Tua looked great, or Tua looked like Tua, I should say. They lost a tough one in Miami. Again, I have to give more of the credit here to the Cardinals. For my Lord, Michael Wilson he found for 6 yards in the second quarter. He found Marvin Harrison in the second half. Wound up having over 111 for the day. I'm not sure, stats are not loading that well on my end, Wolfie. I apologize. I also apologize to the goats that I don't have full stats on my end. Nevertheless, James Conner got in. The Cardinals looked really well. They played really well. On the road, no less. But I'm going to agree that the Dolphins look, it's like night and day. Night and day. Have a great night, guys. Appreciate you, Brian Goat. If you're new to the show, I'm not sure if you are or not. Please give us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. We're back Tuesday waivers, Fridays DFS and Q&A. Saturdays the start sit. Today's the recap. Yeah, we're a brand new channel. This is we're concluding our 8th week as well of the 2024 season. Brand new YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. That's the best way to show your support for us at this time. Unless your name is Sniper Mel. If your name is Sniper Mel, then you just continue to do what you're doing. Continue to ask us about Ray McLeod. We're going to continue to say sit him. Unless it's for the Scott Fish Bowl where you're getting the return yards. I'm assuming that's where he made up for it. I'm assuming that's got to be it. Again, I could probably see limited. I have limited stats right now for some reason. I don't know why this website is not loaded properly. Who knows? Look at this wolf here. Look at the wolf. He even looks like a wolf in the avatar. Tyler Goat. What? Tyler Goat. How'd you do this week? I know we're still Sunday night football and tomorrow night's game pending. But I hope you're doing real well tonight, Tyler. Go, appreciate you. Reed is nothing. Well, don't tell Sniper if it's Jalen Reed, Jaden Reed. Don't tell the Sniper that. When do you want to do this? Whenever you want. You have open invitation. Always. Whenever you'd like. Why does it have to be the start? Sit. Come on any of the shows. Any of them. What other game can we talk about before we take off? What other game really stood out? Cardinals beating the Dolphins with a healthy Tua having an effective Tyreek Hill. That game stands out to me. The Texans just beating the Colts. That game stood out. Oh my God. You want to talk about the dumpster fire that took place in New England? The dumpster fire that is most likely have returned from the Boston area back to Florham Park, New Jersey. That team is in shambles. Shambles. They went and got Devontae Adams. That was the last person they needed. Not because Devontae Adams is bad or over the hill. He wasn't needed. Wasn't necessary. You can't protect Aaron Rodgers. You can't open up holes for Breece Hall still. Your defense against the rush is not good still. Holy smokes. The Patriots. Well, you know what? They're both teams crap. So it's just a matter of which one was smelling better. Wow. Big play from Debo. And Jordan Love starting and dropped Malik this morning. You might want to go pick him back. Want to share with us what league that is or no? I mean, is that Scott Fish Bowl also? Big run for 67, yeah. Does that look like a man who had pneumonia? I don't want to make light of that, but my feeling also is that without knowing for sure, the Niners sent him to the hospital as a precaution. That's my feeling. All right, folks. On behalf of all you goats, I hope it's been a wonderful Sunday, week 8. I want to thank you very much for coming in tonight, for supporting us this entire season so far. It's only getting bigger, only getting better. We will be back this Tuesday at 7 or 8 o'clock. I'm not sure about that. I don't make the schedule here, by the way. I don't. We leave that up to somebody else. We'll leave that up to Sniper. If she could come on 7 o'clock, Sniper will be on at 7 o'clock. Yeah, we watched the Jet game. I know they lost, but any highlights or lowlights? Lowlights. Tyler Conklin, he scored. Yeah, no, it was a bad game. I think Braylon Allen scored. Not Breece Hall, but Braylon Allen scored. It was a shitty game. They're terrible. The Jets are terrible. Yeah. All right, folks. Want to again thank you very much for coming in. On behalf of SoCal Wolf, I am your shepherd. Good night, Sniper. Appreciate you all.